the framers of the Reconstruction Amendments to the U.S. Constitution had the wisdom to say in the 14th Amendment, we are going to overturn Dred Scott, right? This original decision that said that formerly enslaved African Americans would not be considered citizens. We're going to do away with that. But they had a broader vision than that, right? This is contrary to the story that Trump is trying to tell about the 14th Amendment birthright citizenship clause. The history of the 14th Amendment is that Congress debated in framing the 14th Amendment whether this was only about formerly enslaved Black Americans or this was something bigger. The notion that anyone who's born in the territory of the United States is going to be a U.S. citizen, right? This is birthright citizenship was kind of one of the genius moments of the Reconstruction, putting aside old country ideas, like many of us, everyone who's not a descendant of, formerly enslaved African Americans or indigenous. Our history is many of us come from countries where it doesn't matter if you were born in the country. It doesn't matter if your grandparents and your parents were born in the country. If you're not the right ethnicity, you cannot be a citizen of that country. The U.S. said in the aftermath of the Civil War, we want to be a country where everyone can come together, e pluribus unum. We can all come together. Everyone who's born here is going to be a U.S. citizen. So Trump is trying to do away with the genius of the framing of the birthright citizenship clause in ways that, as I said earlier, I think are not going to fly with the courts, including in the Supreme Court. I think there have been at least eight, if not more, federal lawsuits brought to challenge Trump's birthright citizenship executive order. We brought our case at the ACLU along with LDF and the Asian Law Caucus and a very wide-ranging coalition within 2 hours of his issuance of that executive order. And at least two courts have now preliminarily enjoined that executive order and have said this does not fly. And, you don't get me often making predictions about the Supreme Court, but I do think the Supreme Court's going to strike it down. But, I think the broader story of what Donald Trump is trying to do is it's not just about race. It's like I said at the top of the hour, Donald Trump he's trying to define who his in-group is, and he's trying to define who the out-group is.